All right, wow, we are already on day 4. Let's go. So we just found in the last stream we found Ash, and it seemed like Ash has some interesting stuff to say on relational intelligence. I think relational intelligence is just CRM for CRM. The problem, modern networks have outpaced cognitive ability. The human brain evolved for tens of thousands of years to navigate localized tribes, not today's modern era of holding millions of touch points in our heads across time zones, geographies, and phases of life. We feel overwhelmed, reactive, and disconnected, paralyzed by the complexity of our communities. And this is also interesting. Like, you don't have, this is kind of weird. Like, you don't have to manage other people's timelines. You should be managing your own timeline. If you're focused, and this is again, like, this is what happens. We are focused too much on outwards rather than inwards. But I'm curious what she has to say, because I used to do that. I used to do that on Notion. I used to manage this entire thing, but I'm like, why am I doing that? And people are constantly changing. Why am I trying to also put people into buckets when I don't like to put myself into a bucket? Why am I putting people into buckets? And also, why am I managing this? Like, the right people at the right time. If you look at your work as art, if you look at your work as play, if you truly enjoy your work, you will automatically find collaborators and you will work with them. You don't have to truly do this entire management of every person that came into my life. What is their career trajectory right now? What are they working on right now? Where are they headed and stuff like that? I think that also makes you more anxious, because instead of focusing on yourself, you're focusing on other people's stories, and then you get even more anxious because you're like, oh, they are doing so much, I'm not doing anything, because you have spent all your energy thinking about others, not yourself. So that's interesting. Okay, we feel overwhelmed, reactive. So yeah, I feel the problem identification is right, that we feel overwhelmed, we feel reactive, we feel disconnected, but that doesn't mean to give you another tool to do the same thing. So let's see. I'm making too many judgments over here. We don't know her thesis yet. All right, let's see. Paralyzed by the complexity of our communities, grasping to manage networks which have become unmanageable. The status quo is broken. We are losing value and we are losing meaning. Change. To cope, we have reduced people to categories. Okay, exactly. Co-workers, friends, leads. Yeah, wow. Leads. It's so interesting. Leads. Instead of calling them friends, you call them leads. Prospects. Candidates. Wow. So what's the point when you turn from a candidate to a coworker to a friend? We have pushed relationships through funnels. If they are ready to be used, we have dropped them. If not, we have mistaken this for a system. Wow. 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 We have pushed relationships through funnels. Actually, let's see. Can you tweet this for me? Hello world. No, ChatGPT can't right now. All right. We push relationships through funnels. If they're ready to be used, and we have dropped them. If not, we have mistaken this for a system, but it's not. It's a mess, and it's a reason that working in CRM make us cringe. The best founders, sales leaders, investors, and partnership teams know the truth. People are not functional units to squeeze value out of. They're not our leads. They are our humans. We derive more meaning and make more money when we can find mutuality and matches over long time horizons. A new category, relational intelligence. A new category is now possible. Relational intelligence is AI that augments the brain's ability to reason on who am I, who are you to me now and over time. We understand ourselves through relation. We are all walking each other home. This is the future of innovation, a radically expanded ability to understand and act on the abundance of who we are connected to and why. The primitive is not the note, the meeting, the organization, the account. It is the person, the relationship. The primitive, wow, okay. In terms of my friendships, I think the primitive of staying in touch is this WhatsApp group chat, which is like, drop your workout, routine. So that's like, oh, pretty much everybody's doing something every single day, so just drop it in the chat. We understand ourselves through relation. We are all walking each other home. This is the future of innovation, a radically expanded ability to understand and act on the abundance of who we are connected to and why. The primitive is not the note, the meeting, the organization, the account. It is the person, the relationship. Building a guide, each day we take steps on an optimization landscape, a relationscape of connection. For too long, we have stepped blindly, unable to determine if we are in a local hill or valley. If we are actually moving closer to relational objectives as individuals, let alone as members of cooperative teams, we are building Earth to be your guide, your relational intelligence for a lifetime. Whoa. What is this? Continuer. Ouvrir navigateur. Whoa. I think Apple is getting us to use the Apple. Oh. It's funny, both the systems are fighting with each other. When you try to use the primitive form of email and go to Apple is like, yeah, go sign up. This is the primitive form. And Google is like, no. Why are you using this? Just use me. Téléchargement des messages. Her thesis. Hi Ash. Yes, it's interesting that on one hand we don't want others to put us into a box, yet we try to. Yet we purchase a $10.99 subscription to a product, $10.99 per month. $10.99 per month subscription to a CRM product, to an app, just to reduce people to categories. Thank you for your perspective. Yes, it's interesting that on one hand It's interesting that on one hand we don't want others to put us into a box, yet we purchase a $10.99 subscription to an app just to reduce people to categories. Thank you for your perspective. Boom. Go. Oh my god. What the reception is going crazy. $20.26 Bonane. Wow. It's going crazy. Okay, all right. So we got into relational intelligence. Let's look at another one. 31 thoughts. All right. Be more curious than scared. Wisdom and confusion are co-emergent. Wisdom and confusion are co-emergent. Oh wow, 20 November. We have the same birthday. Okay, interesting. Be more curious than scared. Wisdom and confusion are co-emergent. Sometimes the most spiritual thing you can do is have fun. Sometimes the most spiritual thing you can do is have fun. Come into the process and detach from the outcome. The best way to serve the audience is to ignore them. Rick Rubin. It was a privilege to love you and a privilege to let you go. It was a privilege to love you and a privilege to let you go. Oh my god. Oh my god. Okay. Take up space as an artist. Nothing I accept about myself can be used against me. Yes, nothing I accept about myself can be used against me. Embrace the suck. My whole existence is a love letter. Running is a deeply sensitive practice. It should disgust you when someone mistreats you. The secret of creative work is to make a lot and publish a little. The secret of creative work is to make a lot and publish a little. Success is not measured in the bank account, it's measured in the nervous system. Whoa. It's measured in the nervous system. I realized that if I were stable and steady and static, I would be living death. I realized that if I were stable and steady and static, I would be living death. The best thing you can do to contribute to the health of your relationships is own your side of the street. You have to pick the places you don't walk away from. You have to pick the places you don't walk away from. People who avoid their own feelings will neglect yours. People who avoid their own feelings will neglect yours. Things happen for me, not to me. You don't teach someone to swim while they are drowning. You just go and save them. Interesting. Most depression is suppressed expression. Depression. Pression is basically pressure. Expression. Depression and expression. Wow. Pression is pressure. So I'm guessing what you're doing is expression means if pressure is building up, you're letting it out. On the other hand, depression means if pressure is building up, you're bottling it up, you're trying to reduce that pressure. You're constantly trying to reduce that pressure, you are not letting it out. Wow, okay, very interesting. Depression and expression. Clarity doesn't come before action, it comes from action. A big part of being happy is being excited. A big part of being happy is being excited. People's opinion of the world is also a confession of their character. You gain your own voice when you forget about having it heard. You gain your own voice when you forget about having it heard. You gain your own voice when you forget about having it heard. If you choose it, do not feel sorry for yourself about what it takes to make it happen. If you choose it, do not feel sorry for yourself about what it takes to make it happen. She who is certain of the outcome can afford to wait and wait without anxiety. I like how she's just changed. Okay. She who is certain of the outcome can afford to wait and wait without anxiety. When you know you're going to do it, you're not anxious. We can only stand in the shoes of others to the degree that we can stand in our own. Either love is a shrine or a scar. Either love is a shrine or a scar. Your grandmother's prayers are still protecting you. The problem is not that God is absent, but that God is so intimately present. The problem is not that God is absent, but that God is so intimately present. Wow. Okay, this was interesting. The slave revolt in morality begins when resentment itself becomes creative and gives birth to values. The resentment of natures that are denied the true reaction that of deeds and compensate themselves with an imaginary revenge. Friedrich ZCSE. Friedrich Nietzsche. Critique of morality. All right. Where did the book go? Right here. Giovanni Papini, an intellectual biography. Copier, l'image. Okay. Now I keep forgetting this. We need to make a shortcut for this. Okay. Rephrase for Claude. Make the app look like the design in the screenshot. Let's see what can do. Alright, rephrase for Cloud. When the ear closely to follow the screenshot's design. Genealogy tracer to make it match dramatic vintage aesthetic with a classic Nietzsche portrait style. Alright. Love this line of inquiry. Friedrich Nietzsche. Nietzsche didn't use that exact phrase, but his idea of becoming who you are and self-overcoming is all about tearing down inherent beliefs and identities to forge a new self. Didn't use that exact phrase, but his idea of becoming who you are and self-overcoming is all about tearing down inherited beliefs and identities to forge a new self. What would an app look like around the Friedrich Nietzsche idea of self-overcoming? What would an app look like around the Friedrich Nietzsche idea of his idea around Nietzsche idea of becoming who you are and self-overcoming is all about tearing down. Okay, let's see. What is happening? Conversation not found. Have I hit limits? Have I hit any limits? New artifacts. View more. Pro plan. Gift Claude. Download Claude for Mac. Settings. Get help. Status also show operational. Send him some message. AI powered chatbot for Anthropic. Hello, I am trying to use Claude, and now every time I ask a query, it says conversation not found. I am not sure if I've hit some sort of usage limits. Let's see how Anthropic has raised how much money, whatever. $5 billion something, $10 billion, $15 billion. So does it work? Does it work? How much has Anthropic raised? How much money has Anthropic raised? Whoa. How much money has Anthropic raised? They have chosen Intercom to be their tool. So, okay, let's see. 13 billion Series F, 183 billion post-money valuation, September 25, 3.5 billion. So they went from 3.5 billion Series E to 13 billion Series F, led by Lightspeed. And this one was led by Iconic, Fidelity, Lightspeed, BlackRock. It's crazy, like, what top frontier AI labs has A16Z invested in? I'm surprised there were no big names. So yeah, XAI. So Elon can definitely go like, okay, we don't want you to be putting your money into all the guys, because then you are kind of also getting information from us, and you are, what's the word? You are basically, because a VC pretty much has all the information. A top VC like A16Z, a top tier VC like A16Z will collect all the information because they want to help their portfolio companies. And if they're investing so much money, they want to go even deeper into that company. And then they will become a liability if they are investing in all the top frontier labs, and because they are top frontier labs, they've invested a lot of money, and because they've invested a lot of money, they have to be really involved with what's happening, and they cannot be involved in everything with all the competitors and have all the information, because they become the liability for competition. So they have to choose only one of them. So what is happening? XAI, major participant across multiple rounds, including 6 billion Series B, 6 billion Series C, alongside investors like Sequoia, Fidelity, and BlackRock. So Fidelity is everywhere. Interesting. And BlackRock is everywhere. They continue to back XAI's infrastructure scaling, Colossus supercomputer and model development. Mistral led or co-led significant investments, including high-profile round that helped Mistral compete with closed models from US labs. SSI, funding rounds for this high-profile frontier effort. OpenAI, stakes through secondary transactions, tender offers, and participation growth rounds. They frequently list their A16Z's broad AI portfolio coverage, including references to owning positions in top valued companies. Mix of closed, open weight, and safety-oriented frontier players. Expanded bets in this space. Big game in the base for advanced and intense competition from labs like OpenAI. What companies, what top frontier labs has Fidelity invested in? Several top frontier AI labs, the leading companies developing cutting-edge large language models and pursuing advanced general AI capabilities. Anthropic co-led the 13 billion Series F alongside iconic Lightspeed. 3.5 Series E. Wow. FTX bankruptcy related shares. Most prominent institutional investors reflecting strong conviction in their safety-aligned approach. XAI, 20 billion Series E. Infrastructure scaling like the Colossus supercomputer. They join alongside NVIDIA, Cisco, Valor Equity Partners, Qatar Investment Authority, and others, positioning XAI as a direct competitor to OpenAI and Anthropic. Through participation, funding rounds, and secondary transactions, invested in key late-stage rounds, contributing to record-breaking raises that pushed valuation of 400 billion plus. Multiple Fidelity funds hold OpenAI shares valued in the hundreds of millions collectively. Okay, interesting. Back to Claude. It's a different type of issue. When you hit usage limits, you would see a message like "Fi R limit reached." Okay. Clear browser cache and cookies. Try a different browser or incognito mode. Start a new conversation. Okay, let me try again. Chats. I guess this is working now. Sure. Oh, I guess it is working now. Thank you. This is so much better. I feel the only problem is that my mouth is starting to hurt now because I'm talking so much. So we need to be careful. Not too much talking. Alright, I'm glad it worked. Let me know if you run into any other issues. Alright, Finn. Merci. Merci, Finn. Carl Jung. Yes, Carl Jung is everywhere. Alright, let's see. I'm excited to see what Claude has done over here. Let's go. Boom. Wow. Okay, so this is good. Remove all emojis. Yes, because that kind of competes. By the way, it automatically picked a really good UI over here. Man is something that shall be overcome. What have you done to overcome him? Each demolished illusion is a step forward. Authentic existence. The noble soul has reverence for itself. Whoever fights monsters should see that in the process he does not become one. Wow. And if you gaze long into an abyss, the abyss also gazes into you. Did you create your own values today? How much suffering did you embrace as necessary for growth? Amor fati. What is the meaning of amor fati? Amor fati, amor fati, amor fati. Let's see. Embraced willingly, clung to water, peaked an edge, dipped a toe, waltzed briefly. Dionysian ecstasy. Dionysian ecstasy. Did you dance at the edge of chaos today? Oh my god. Ubermensch, child, lion. There is last man. There's camel. Okay. Love of fate, not tolerance, not resignation, love. To want nothing to be different, not forward, not backward, not for all eternity. Amor fati, love of fate. Amor fati, that makes sense. Amor, that's love. Fati is fate. Amor fati, love of fate, not tolerance, not resignation, love. Wow, interesting. In practical terms, Amor fati asks you to say yes to everything that happens to you. The wins, the humiliations, the detours, the losses, the awkward chapters you would rather delete, not because they are pleasant, but because they are yours, and they are raw material for becoming who you are capable of being. Not passive acceptance. You still act, try, build, resist, but once something has happened, you don't poison yourself wishing it hadn't. No victim narrative. Fate isn't an enemy or a judge, it's a collaborator. Creative stance toward suffering. Pain isn't merely endured, it's metabolized into strength, insight, or style. Pain isn't merely endured, it's metabolized into strength, insight, or style. Nietzsche treats amor fati as the psychological posture of someone strong enough to turn existence itself into art. The ultimate flex isn't control, it's affirmation, a compact way to live it. This too belongs to my path, I wouldn't subtract it. Daily practice of folded directly into Ubermensch tracker, so it stops being a quote and starts being a behavior. If a demon crept after you one day and said this life as you now live it, you will have to live once more and innumerable times more. Would you throw yourself down and gnash your teeth, or would you answer you are a god and never have I heard anything more divine? Affirm eternally, affirm eternally, affirm eternally. You agreed with the popular opinion 3 times today without conformity detected. Oh my god, what does that mean? You agreed with popular opinion 3 times today without independent verification. The herd approves. Comfort zone alert. No beliefs were challenged in the past 48 hours. Stagnation is the enemy of being. This is so cool. Friedrich Nietzsche. Master morality versus slave morality. I don't like the blue accent color and the gray background. Let's see. Okay. Okay, this look good. Friedrich Nietzsche, the genealogy tracer. All things are subject to interpretation, whichever interpretation prevails at a given time is a function of power, not truth. Good, evil, guilt, conscience. The noble, powerful aristocrats originally defined good as themselves, their strength, beauty, and life-affirming qualities. Bad was simply the weak, the common, the contemptible. The slave revolted, the powerless, unable to express their will to power, through action turned inward and invented a new morality. Through resentment, festering resentment, they revalued all values. The powerful became evil, while their own weakness became good. The slave revolted. The birth of guilt. Christianity perfected this inversion by internalizing the conflict. Unable to strike outward, humans turned their aggressive instincts inward, creating conscience, guilt, and bad conscience, the soul torturing itself. The ascetic ideal. Priests consolidated this slave morality by making suffering meaningful, giving the sick power over the healthy through moral superiority. Life itself became suspect. The otherworldly and spiritual were elevated above earthly vitality. Interesting. Very interesting. We got this Ubermensch. We got this one. Let's see. It wrote some sort of code. What happened? It didn't have the captures Nietzsche's radical idea of self-overcoming. Okay, where is it? Let's have captures Nietzsche's. I can see the app. Self-creation, destruction, genealogy of self. Inventory there. Inherent beliefs, identities, and values. This mirrors Nietzsche's genealogical method of tracing where our values actually come from. Destruction, the hammer phase. Users actively select and destroy the inherited elements that no longer serve their authentic becoming. This is the painful but necessary work of self-overcoming. Self-creation. In the clearing made by destruction, users forge new authentic values. These aren't reactions against the old, they are genuine creations from the highest potential. The app uses visual metaphors. Fire colors for destruction, green for growth. Tracks progress from inherited self to authentic self. The prompts help users dig deep into unconscious inheritance and authentic desires. It's pretty cool. This reminds me of Danco. This is one of the things that Claude didn't do for us last time. You don't magically become focused. It's cool. X also kind of played with his thumbnail. That's pretty cool. You don't magically become obsessed, you practice it. You notice you are distracted and snap out of it over and over again until it's second nature. Okay, we'll do over here. Before we go into Claude, I just need to get CL right and then Claude opens. Okay. What app can you build based on this idea? Boom, go. Yes, conversation found. Conversation found. All right, Carl Jung. Jung didn't talk literally about fire, but his concept of individuation, confronting and integrating the shadow, is like burning away illusions to reveal the real self beneath. Rumi. This 13th century poet mystic wrote verses where the self dissolves into love, lyrical fiery passages about losing, burning the old ego to awaken to the beloved. Wow. Give me some Rumi poems. Saint John of the Cross. In Christian mysticism, especially in the dark night of the soul, spiritual transformation is framed like a purging fire that burns the old attachments, desires, and ego. Writers and poets. James Baldwin. In essays and interviews, Baldwin spoke about destroying all cells, especially those shaped by race, fear, and societal expectation, to become freer and more authentic. Baldwin spoke about destroying all cells, especially those shaped by race, fear, and societal expectation, to become freer and more authentic. Toni Morrison. Her fiction often portrays characters shedding old identities, socially imposed and internally beloved, in order to claim themselves. Mary Oliver. In her poems, the natural world becomes the fire that strips away what no longer matters. The natural world becomes the fire that strips away what no longer matters, leaving only the essence of being. Spiritual and personal growth teachers. Eckhart Tolle. In The Power of Now, Tolle invites readers to let the past self die, so presence and consciousness can arise, a psychological fire for ego-based identity. To let the past self die, so presence and consciousness can arise, a psychological fire for ego-based identity. Pema Chodron, Buddhist teacher Pema, notes that discomfort and uncertainty can burn away hard-heartedness and ego stories, revealing compassion. Ralph Waldo Emerson. In transcendentalist thought, there is a push to shed societal expectations and old beliefs in favor of self-trust and inner revelation. In transcendentalist thought, there is a push to shed societal expectations and old beliefs in favor of self-trust and inner revelation. Contemporary voices. Brené Brown talks courage. Brené Brown frames transformation as letting go of who we think we are supposed to be, a kind of identity burning. Jordan Peterson. He often uses metaphors like cleaning your room or slaying dragons to describe dismantling old habits and patterns to build a stronger self. Rupture. Entities that no longer serve you, so that once generally you can emerge. Yeah, why has everything become so slow? I don't know what's happening. What can we build around this idea? of rupture. Conversation found. Let's go. The anti-resolution life redesign app. Oh, failed to fetch. Was not provided by the user, nor was it contained in any web search fetch results. The anti-resolution life redesign app that we discuss is how most people feel at life changes because they approach resolution superficially without meeting the requirements for true change. Here's an app that would operationalize deeper, more effective personal transformation. The single-day diagnostic, identifying what's actually broken versus what they think is broken, using depth psychology principles. The meaning audit, distinguish between goals driven by status games versus genuine personal values. The quit archive, instead of shame around failed goals, users track their 10 plus quit attempts to identify patterns about what prevents sustainable change. Requirements calculator, for each life change goal, the app maps out the actual psychological, practical, and systemic requirements needed, not just be more disciplined. The one-day intensive protocol, a guided day-long process that creates real clarity rather than superficial commitments, with breaks for walks. Status game detector, AI analysis that flags when your goals might be about impressing others versus genuine transformation. Yes, go build it. Rupture as a generative force rather than just loss. Alright, interactive identity archaeology tool. What is happening over here? Whoa. I can't see the app. Becoming who you are. Genealogy, identify inherited beliefs. What are some iconic US brands? Coca-Cola, Levi's, industry, motion. Okay. Harley-Davidson. We'll take Harley-Davidson. Wow, that'd be cool. Let's see. Replicate the visual design of Harley-Davidson's brand. Let's see. A fun collab between General Electric, Disney, Warner Bros, Netflix, HBO, Silicon Valley, Google, Microsoft, Amazon, IBM. This is the photo from Amazon. Just a bunch of bots. Okay, retail lifestyle. Walmart, Costco, Starbucks, Ralph Lauren. Whoa. What do we have here? We have ceramics. We have a couch. We have the pillows on couch. We have a lamp. More lamps. We have a chandelier. You got some crazy paintings going on. We got horses. Nice. Solve a practical problem. Tell a story about America. Become a shortcut for identity. Okay. What was this one? Alright, let's see what happens over here. Fun idea. Life redesign. And this one is, okay. Anti-resolution. Before coffee, before anything, brained up everything you think you want to change. Diagnostic. Replicate the visual design of Ralph Lauren's brand. Let's see. Most people fail at change because they pursue superficial resolutions driven by status games. This isn't about being more disciplined. It's about understanding what true change actually requires. What did you quit? How long did you last? Why did you quit? The single day diagnostic. What's actually broken versus what you think is broken. The gap between these two determines your success rate. What do you want to change about your life? Why do you want this change? Who would notice if you achieved this? Who would care? What's the actual problem underneath? What would your life look like if this problem didn't exist? Requirements, the change you want. Start a business. What this actually requires. Okay. If you're missing more than 3 of these requirements, your chance of success is near zero, not because you're weak, but because you're human. Psychological requirements, tolerance for uncertainty and discomfort, ability to maintain commitment when results aren't visible. Psychological space, not in crisis mode. Willingness to be bad at something temporarily. Capacity to handle potential failure publicly. Practical requirements. Minimum 30 to 60 minutes daily of protected time. Financial buffer for initial investment. Physical space for the work. Tools or equipment necessary for execution. Elimination of one existing commitment to make room. At least one person who supports this. Not just tolerates. Permission. Whoa. Something beautiful has happened. Navy blue, the iconic Ralph Lauren navy. Cream beige, sophisticated neutral backgrounds. Typography. Uppercase headers with generous spacing. It's pretty cool. Really cool. What have you done? What have you done? Where is it? Boom. Go. Whoa. Wow. American legend. Become who you are. One must still have chaos in oneself to give birth to a dancing star. Let's see. Of Sony Walkman's brand. What have you done over here? Okay, let's see. Signature orange, black color scheme, metal textures with industrial shadows and insets, chrome text effects, rivets on the navigation button for the motorcycle hardware feel. Oh, rivets. Okay. You got the rivets. angled panels with clipped polygons like gas tanks, road stripe divider elements, flame animations on action buttons, Oswald for body text, all caps styling throughout that rugged commanding presence. Wow. Before you can become who you are, you must see clearly what you have been made to be. List the inherent beliefs, identities, and values that were imposed upon you. An inherent belief or identity prompts to uncover. My family wanted to be a doctor. Okay, my family wanted me to be a doctor. Boom. Journey progress. Proceed to destruction. Destructed. The hammer of self-overcoming. You must be ready to burn yourself in your own flame. How could you become new unless you had first become ashes? Select the beliefs and entities you wish to destroy. This is not erasure. It is liberation. What no longer serves you, becoming must be overcome. Yes. Destroy selected. The hammer of self-overcoming. Begin self-creation. Create your new values. Now the real work begins in the clearing you have made. What will you create? These are not inherited. They are chosen, forged, authentically yours. I am a creator. An artist. Whoa. No, Claude got activated. Entrepreneur. Let's see. Create. I'm a creator. Chosen. Wow. Look at the branding that Claude has done. You're becoming. You've destroyed one inherited belief and created one authentic value. This is not the end. Becoming who you are is an eternal process of self-overcoming. And this is the great noon, when man stands at the midpoint of his course between animal and overman and celebrates his way to the evening as his highest hope. Oh my god, this is so cool. I think it's cool that when you have, how do you have so much texture? You have so much texture when you are basing it. Oh no, what did you do? When you're basing this on something which is, when you're basing it on a rich text, rich corpus of text, something like Friedrich Nietzsche has done. So when you have that, there's so much alignment. All I am doing is I'm just packaging it in a beautiful structure using the modern technology, but there's already so much thought put into this entire process, which is beautiful. And when you keep going through these steps, it's amazing. Yeah. Walkman, Sony, personal stereo. It's not that cool. Cassette tape interface. Data RAMs. What was that? Data RAMs, right? Data RAMs designs. Good design is innovative, grounded in technology, but with a human purpose. Okay, let's see. Let's give it another attempt. Perfect. Now it's got the iconic Sony Walkman. Wow, we're making Claude do so much work. Become who you are. Replacing the entire design with data RAMs. Principles. Extreme minimalism. Yeah, this is again true. When you have a lot of when you are basing this entire work on a rich philosophy, rich creative philosophy, rich corpus of philosophy, I think it comes together really well. It comes together really well. All right, Dan Coe is here. This is pretty good. I think it would be good to do in the format of the walk and the subtraction requirement map. For what remains, map every real requirement, time, money, skill, psychological capacity, support systems, mostly complete requirement map, the decision, your one thing, why this above all else, complete the decision, your life redesign complete, download your redesign, your one thing, your anchor. Remember, this isn't about motivation. Motivation is a feeling, and feelings change. This is about having done the work to know what actually matters when it gets hard, and it will. This clarity is what keeps you moving. Don't make any commitments. Don't tell anyone. Just sit with the decision. Feels true to more than you begin. Minimum 30 to 60 minutes of protected time, social requirements, permission from yourself to disappoint certain people, boundary setting ability with time vampires. Time vampires. Access to people who have done this before, tolerance for others' opinions, knowledge requirements, understanding of what actually looks like, realistic timeline expectation, knowledge of common failure points, awareness of your own patterns and triggers, ability to track progress meaningfully. System requirements, a way to measure progress that isn't just outcomes. Recovery protocol for bad days. Environmental design that's supposed to change. Early warning system for when you are drifting. Predetermined responses to common obstacles. Interactive identity archaeology tool, a web app where you map layers of your identity over time. Professional roles, relationships, beliefs, habits, visually excavate to see what remains when you remove what no longer fits. The visual metaphor of archaeological digging feels right for uncovering what's genuinely you. The Rupture Journal guides you through documenting moments of identity letting go with prompts like, what did this identity give you that you valued? What was the cost of maintaining it? What scared you most about releasing it? What emerged in the space it left? Emergence simulator, more philosophical, artistic. You input an old identity you are considering releasing, and it generates a branching visualization of possible selves that could emerge. Not predictive, but provocative, helping you see the abundance rather than scarcity and letting go. Emergence simulator, the courage archive. Anonymously share the rupture stories, the identity they release and what emerged. You could filter by type of rupture. Which of these resonate? Let's build this one. I think it's good to keep testing a lot of things over here and see what is working, what is not working, understand how you prompt this guy. It's incredible. Data RAMs, where'd he go? Right here. Boom. Oh, wow. Like too minimalist. Okay. Become who you are. Destruction, creation, Okay, we did this one. What's the next one? What identity was chosen for you by society? What shoulds govern your daily life? What beliefs do you inherit about success? Ooh. That it is hard. That it is hard work. That it is boring. That it is grunt work. Where did it go? Okay. Continue. The hammer of self-overcoming. Select the beliefs. We select this one. Selected. Continue. Creating your own values. Just play. Play is using. Wait, I heard something really beautiful today. It was actually really nice. Play is using sources and wasting them for fun. Play. Get and flow. Wonder. Keep going. Boom. Summary. You overcome one inherited belief and created one authentic belief. Becoming who you are is a continuous process of self-overcoming. One must still have chaos in oneself to give birth to a dancing star. Progress is 100%. Really cool. Really cool. There are some things which are just hard to understand because the UI is too simple. The UI is too simple. But this is a really good one, so we'll publish this. Becoming who you are. Less but better stripped away all decorative elements, focusing purely on function. Honest, clean presentation with no pretense or visual tricks. Unobtrusive neutral colors. Background, black. White, subtle grays. Wow. Long-lasting, timeless aesthetic that won't feel dated. Thorough. Every detail considered, nothing arbitrary. As little design as possible. Pure functionality. Visual design, minimal color palette, off-white background, black text, subtle gray accents. Precise grid system, 12-column grid for perfect alignment. Yes. Perfect alignment. Really cool. Really cool. Ultra thin lines, 1 pixel borders, hairline separators. Hairline separators. Yes. Generous white space, breathing room around every element. No shadows, completely flat, honest presentation, perfect proportions, mathematically precise spacing. Typography. Helvetica, new. The quintessential Swiss German modernist font. Interesting. It does look very artisty. Lightweights, never heavy-handed. Crisp rendering with Anti-aliasing. Oh my god, what is that? What is anti-aliasing? At its heart, clever trick. Digital images look smoother and less blocky, reducing the jagged staircase-like edges you often see on diagonal or curved lines. Pixels are squares, but real shapes have smooth curves. When a smooth diagonal has to be shown, tiny steps instead of smooth line. blends the colors of edge pixels with their neighbors or samples multiple points per pixel to create a visual illusion of smoothness. It doesn't increase actual resolution, but it tricks your brain into seeing smoother lines. Instead of assigning a single color to each pixel, anti-aliasing techniques take into account the color of surrounding pixels. They average or blend colors at edges, so the transition looks softer and less jagged. Super sampling renders at a higher resolution than downsamples. Great quality but expensive. Multi-sample. Good balance of quality and speed. Fast approximate. Temporal uses motion and previous frames to smooth moving edges. Good for games. White matters. Very cool. Really cool. Good design is innovative. Good design makes a product useful and intuitive. Good design is aesthetic without being decorative. Good design is unobtrusive, like a friendly tool, not a showpiece. Good design is long-lasting and avoid fads. Good design is as little design as possible. Less but better. Before you can become who you are, you must see clearly what you have been made to be. What if Nietzsche could Claude? That's a good one. BPI fonts. This was okay. Getting too complicated. Becoming who you are, this was good. Good work. Good work. Rupture identity. Okay, what do we have? Build emergence simulator. I have ideas. This was cool. Too complicated. We don't want to make it too complicated. This was good work. Thank you. We got some Romeo over here. Emergence simulator. The space awaits your rupture. What identity will you release? What happens when you let go? Not scarcity, but abundance. Old Microsoft design. Ancient UI roots, the classic look. Modern UI, the classic look. Windows 95 and XP. Okay, let's see. Now, what is this one? Windows 95. Microsoft Windows 95. Let's go. Replicate the visual design of. Boom. Let's see. Show me some magic. You input an old identity you are considering releasing. It generates a branching visualization of 5 to 6 possible cells that could emerge. Each emergence is philosophically calibrated based on the type of identity you are releasing. The visualization shows your rupture point at the center. Okay, the identity you are releasing, let's say the corporate executive, the eternal student. Ooh. The lazy. Let's see. What's driving this rupture? What are you holding on to? Okay, let's see. What are we? The eternal student, let's see. What's driving this rupture? What are you holding on to? What scares you about letting go? Moving away from just learning to building. Putting myself out there. Whoa, 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 whoa. Whoa, 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 whoa. Okay, really cool. The eternal student. What's driving a rupture? What are you holding on to? What scares you are letting go? Amazing. Amazing work. Let's go. Let's go. Amazing work. Looks a little bit weird, but the space awaits your rupture. What identity will you release? Okay, you removed my answer. I'm really mad. But Claude, you came up with beautiful design, so let's go. The font, I'm not sure if this font looks like Windows 95. Let's see. Why is my cursor not showing? Boom, boom, boom. Why is my cursor not showing here? Refresh. Make the title Emergence Simulator a little pixelated. Let's see if you can do that. Bitmap font shine to the main H1 title. Let's see. What can you do? What can you do? What happens when you let go? Not scarcity, but abundance. Did you do something? I can see some pixelation. The crispness and slight jaggedness gives it a bitmap font quality from that era. Good work. Good work. This is not prediction, it's provocation. Name the identity you are considering releasing and witness the multiplicity of what might emerge in its place. Each possibility is a door, not a destination. The eternal student. What scares you about letting go? Instead of, or not instead of, moving away from just learning to building, putting myself out there and making things happen. Simulate. Oh my god, oh my god. The unencumbered self. Rupture point, the eternal student. the unencumbered self, lighter without the weight of who you thought you had to be. The emergent being discovering aspects that were always there, now visible. The authentic experimenter trying on ways of being without commitment to permanence. The liberated creator making choices from desire rather than obligation. The integrated whole, parts of you that you can now speak that was silenced before. The curious explorer asking what if instead of I should. Oh my god, this is so good. Publish this artifact. I'm not sure if this would work on Netlify. Let's try it. Emergence simulator. Alright. We go over here. Wait, where do we find that? Téléchargement? Téléchargement. Okay. Give me nouveau dossier. Let's call it Emergence Simulator. Move that in there. Renome index. Oh, what did I do? Oh no, what did I do? Oh no. Wow, you sometimes do some things that feel a little irreversible. Netlify, let's go. Alright, find me. Bro, how do I find that now? Okay. Here it is. Add new project. Manual deploys. Deploy manually. Yes, we deploy manually. Drop it. Go. Go. Yes. Let's go. Quick setup. Well, I think we should also check the stats of the other projects. Emergence simulator. Let's see if this works. Because sometimes you are using HTML. It is just HTML, but in the back end it is actually using Claude. So on HTML it cannot use Claude. In the artifact it can use Claude. But anyways, I want to quickly look at all the projects. So the first one was U-Haul wrapped a day ago. And last hour. Don't see, show me last hour. Show me. What are you showing me last hour? Show me last 24 hours. Can you show me the location? Duration. Okay. People are spending so many milliseconds on my project. Okay. Let's see. Claustrophobic was good. So, observability. Explore. Last 24 hours. Someone spent $10 seconds? Yeah, I don't know. Okay, we gotta confirm. How many milliseconds is 1 second? Oh my god. It's not working. How many milliseconds is 1 second? 1,000 milliseconds. 1,000 millisecond. Okay. Wow. Show me people who spend seconds. Why is it showing me people who spend 1 millisecond? Who is spending 0.25 millisecond on my site? That is crazy. I clearly know one guy who actually spent some time on my website. I guess they want you to pay. Gesture scroll controller, get unstuck, AI detox, emergence simulator. Okay, perfect. It works now. Let's see. Student, move away from learning to building. The present inhabitant actually here, not performing a role. The liberated creator making choices from desire rather than obligation. I think you can send this to people, but it's gonna give the same result again and again. What is it? The perfectionist. The perfectionist. The experimentalist, the strategic, the playful creator. It's actually good. It's working. It's working. Let's go. Okay, I'll share with one friend who will definitely give it a shot. He loved the claustrophobic test. Okay, where you are. It's not working. Yeah, why has this entire system become slow? My phone is so much faster. Okay. Emergence simulator. Okay, this is cool. What happens when you let go? Not scarcity, but abundance. It's pretty cool. Okay, philosophical exploration of the cells that emerge from rupture. Name the identity you're considering releasing and witness the multiplicity of what might emerge in its place. Each possibility is a door, not destination. We are running high on Netlify. Name the identity you are considering releasing and witness the multiplicity of what might emerge in its place. Each possibility is a door, not a destination. And I have no idea why The screenshot color looks so dull. Let's see, lazy. The curious explorer, asking what if instead of I should. The liberated creator, making choices from desire rather than obligation. The authentic experimenter, trying on ways of being without commitment to permanence. The identity you are releasing. Let's see. Scared. Wow, okay, so this is new. The space maker. Creating room for others' growth and your own. The wisdom holder. Offering guidance without carrying others' burdens. The self-nourisher. Tending to your own vitality as essential work. The interdependent one, knowing when to support and when to step back. The balanced helper, supporting from fullness, not from depletion. Space maker, scared. Discovering aspects that were always there, now visible. The liberated creator, the present inhabitant, actually here not performing a role. Rupture point, the courageous. Parts of you that can now speak that were silenced before. Interesting. An emergence simulator. Okay, this was fun. This was really fun. I'm gonna go on Twitter and see why it's happening. Okay. Just remember, nothing is real. Buckle up. We are not prepared for how quickly production pipelines are going to change with AI. Some of the latest models have immediate implications for Hollywood. Wow. Wow. The beard. They got the beard right. They got the beard right. So the latest video models have immediate implications for Hollywood. Endless character swaps at negligible causes from Ear Xavier 3D on IG using Kling motion control. Wonder is rapidly advancing. It's important to be able to tell who's human. Word. You're building the real If you aren't getting happier as you get older, you're doing it wrong. Not noticeably happier than at 20. Algorithm broken, new inputs required immediately. Exceptional read on intelligence. Whoa, what just happened? Oh yeah, press the wrong button. Rupture and identity. Transform. Juwan. Alright, let's see. You're learning or doing anything anymore. Just learn English and acquire a good mental model of things. And just type, bro. Just type. Wait, is Sahil Blue about to announce that Tim Cook is no longer at Apple? I get a lot of messages asking for career advice. This is my attempt to synthesize my responses into a series of short, valuable lessons. Be the person who can figure it out. Be valuable. Swallow the frog for your boss. Focus on talent density. You tend to rise or fall to the level of the people around you. When you work with exceptional people, you absorb the standard space, frameworks, and instincts almost through osmosis. Heightened environments compress learning cycles and force you to grow faster than you would on your own. If you care about compounding skills and judgment, there's nothing more valuable than choosing the room with the highest talent per square foot. Don't follow your passion, follow your energy. Inputs are great, but you're paid for your outputs. Inputs and outputs may be dislocated in the short term, but they should be connected in the long term. If not, you probably need to adjust your inputs. Tiny cracks, not open doors. Potential is nothing without execution. When you're young, everyone cares about your potential. You get accustomed to focusing on it. But as you get older, no one cares about your potential, just your delivery against it. They want feedback, but emojis mean they want positive feedback. If you can seek out constructive feedback and embrace it, you will always outmatch the person who runs from it. Makes everything easier. Skill accumulation, title, trajectory, and opportunity set. Even average players can look like stars in a rapidly expanding industry. Create headwinds that even great performers struggle to overcome. It's very difficult to swim upstream. Build a reputation for reliability. Occasionally extraordinary. Read M4 by just being someone that people can count on to show up and do the work. Being reliable is entirely free but surprisingly rare. You need to be willing to contribute extraordinary inputs. Build their careers on the back of sounding smart, using fancy words and the like. While it may work out for a few, it's a bad risk-reduced strategy. It's not talking about the thing, it's not brainstorming about the thing, it's not asking about the thing, it's not thinking about the thing. The only way to reliably get ahead is by doing the thing. Everything matters. Learn to sell. Your story, your product, your vision or ideas. Don't be afraid of being told no. Use it to refine the message until you get to a yes. There are no style points in life. Make it look good. You win by getting to the truth. The layup counts just as much as the 360 windmill dunk. You can be the code for the full game. Be selective in the games you choose to play. The lizard had the tree in mind when challenging the dog to a fight. Hyper self-aware. They identify the unique edge and play games that favor it and avoid those that expose their weaknesses. Closed mouths don't get fed. Do the old-fashioned things well. People want to do business with people they like. Side hustles are usually just distractions. Quite rare that an income stream is truly passive. It may just be a distraction pulling you away from the main thing that matters. Your employer probably doesn't care about you. Until it's time to make hard decisions. One of my dearest friends just got laid off out of 15 years at a firm. The guy who gave him the news had hired him originally and been a groomsman at his wedding. Suddenly he wouldn't reply to text or pick up the phone. There's no loyalty. The sooner you accept that, the better off you will be. Wow. I've noticed the one who thrive aren't necessarily the smartest. They just found their right room. Wow. That was crazy. Okay. On intelligence, consider the plant. Let's go down. The questions we must ask. Conclusion. It exists in a world shaped by forces it can perceive. It's born, it's grown, it reproduces, and it dies according to patterns it did not choose and cannot change. It is, in a very real sense, at the mercy of beings it will never know, and yet the plant persists. It thrives even. Not because it has outsmarted the superintelligent beings above it, chosen to let it flourish. This is perhaps the deepest lesson of intelligence theory. The relationship between intelligence strata is not inherently adversarial. Humans and plants coexist. We need each other in ways both practical and profound. The plants give up oxygen, food, beauty. We give them continued existence, carefully created according to our preferences, as we stand at the threshold of potentially creating being super intelligent to ourselves. We might hope for a similar arrangement. We might hope that whatever we create will find us useful, interesting, worthy of preservation. We might hope that our relationship will be symbolic rather than parasitic. But hope is not a strategy, and intelligence theory reminds us that we cannot negotiate from a position of weakness with beings we cannot comprehend. The plants never got to decide whether humans would exist, but we have a choice. How far the intelligence ladder we want to climb, and whether we want to change rungs above us. Intelligence theory is a framework that presents a language with which we can debate this topic. It's actually very interesting. Predict what happens in the next 6 months when all the top frontier labs train 10x smarter models and AI becomes even more accessible to people worldwide. Lower cost open source releases global distribution. Rapid model iteration and launches. Expect at least 2 major frontier model releases by mid-26. Claude 5, Gemini 3.54, incorporating continual learning to enable real-time adaptation without full retraining. Real-time adaptation without full retraining. That is very interesting. We'll get into this self-improvement cycle. The self-improvement cycle, right? Self-improvement cycle, self-improvement loop. Saturate the benchmarks. AI delegating tasks to sub-agents for complex workflows, end-to-end software development or resource synthesis, shifting from chat-based interfaces to autonomous execution. Scaling 1. Run pod. Agents delegating work to sub-agents, the start of the agent economy and the great unhobbling. More evals, capture economic value model system, big focus on white-collar work, large acceleration of science. Automation of white-collar work, enabled by having reliable and fast computer use agents. How you use the internet, this is OpenAI's big goal. Become the hub to the internet, delegate shopping and whatever to agents. And this is the thing that OpenAI actually does really well, which is it gives you a very plain interface to interact with the world. And I think that is really important. It makes Google gave you too much noise. Like now when I look at Google, I'm like, that is so ugly and that is so much noise. Wow. I open Chrome today and I'm like, how ugly is this? Wow. Let's see, if you ask a question like, what is the latest update on open source AI models? And if we go ahead, this is so ugly. Sponsored results and all of this. Why do I need this? Why do I need this? I don't need this. If I ask the same question over here, what are the latest updates on open source models? What are the latest updates on open source models? And this is it. This is it. Everything is here. And then you can, so this is your, it's like, this is your umbrella. This is your main layer. You ask a question, you get this umbrella, you get this interface, and then you can go deeper. Even for interacting with humans, interacting with the right videos, with everything, you use AI as your key. You use this very plain, beautiful, simple layer as your key interface. And then obviously you get more character, more taste from real people. People are the end, not the means. And AI is the means, not the end. So I think that is the important distinction to learn over here. Use AI to get to people, get to the right people, get to the right stories, get to the right people that you want to connect to, make friends, and don't use people, build relationships with people. Yeah. Google Advances Medical Open Models. This is perfect. Like, this is it, right? Like, I just want straight answer. You search the internet. Why are you showing the links? You were supposed to search the internet. And yeah, NVIDIA's Alpha Mayo. Actually, this is a good question. NVIDIA's Alpha Mayo and Nemotron open model families. Spirit AI, open source to stop embodied AI model. Open source with weights and eval code. Alibaba's Quen ecosystem keeps exploding in use. Quen, something is happening. Yes, it's across $700 million on Hugging Face. Metric signaling huge global adoption and developer interest. South China. Geopolitics, open source tensions. Foreign open source code illustrating how open models are now strategic tech assets with national security implications. Mozilla's strategic push for user-centric open AI. User-controlled self-hosting, community-driven governance, reinforcing OpenAI as not just technical but ethical infrastructure. Model marketplace continues to grow rapidly, hosting millions of open models and datasets and serving as the go-to collaboration space for researchers and practitioners. Gemma series, growing family of open LLMs for multilingual, multimodal task apparatus. Swiss National Open LLM, multilingual, fully open source model with European compliance. Mistral AI's open reasoning and efficient models. China-led open models and broader adoption. Open source infrastructure, not fringe, are now ubiquitous in enterprise stacks, research labs. Startups naturally have strategies blurring lines with commercial offerings, rising agenting and embodied capabilities, security and supply chain awareness. Interesting. Become the hub to the internet, delegate shopping and whatever to agents. Claude 5, Gemini 4, GPT 6. Wow, we are already on GPT 6 or 5. We are on GPT 5.2. That is crazy. Everything in between. DeepSeek, Grok 5, Quen 4. It's interesting. I think if GPT is at 6 and Gemini is at 4, do people just think that, oh, ChatGPT is ahead because they are on 6th iteration and Gemini is on 4th iteration? That's also interesting. Psychological game. It's like why sometimes these, yeah, like even for, yeah, it's very interesting. I think even for Apple has changed their naming system now. Their naming system is just like reflects the year. Like they are gonna have the next iOS and it's not gonna be called 15.2 based on the iteration number. It's just gonna be called 26 because it should reflect the year 26. So people aren't confused what is happening. They're just like, hey, just give me one simple number. We are near 2026. This is your latest version and it's 26. Perfect. I think these guys would start pretty much doing the same thing now. They're like, this is GPT 26, this is Gemini, this is Gemini 26, yeah. Which also gives them pretty much 1 year buffer time to keep thinking like, okay, what's next? We should also see much better live models. But I think earlier on, that's obviously not a good strategy because you want to iterate faster. You want to go at it faster. You want to go get faster feedback loops. So at that point, it's really important that you reduce the loop. Yeah, we should also see much better live models on voice and video mode. Efficient test time training. Figures out efficient test time training. It will be clear to everybody that Anthropic has the mandate and is ahead of everyone else. OpenAI, Anthropic, and Google will remain frontier labs. Wow. They're basically saying X. They don't set anything on Grok. Okay. Decent chance that Anthropic overtakes OpenAI's valuation. And both are valued at more than 1 trillion. DeepSeek will join them with V4 as the Chinese frontier lab. But Elon persists on slop maxing the model. Wow, okay. AI generated video content will take off with VO4 and Sora 3. Consistent minute-long videos will be possible. Embodied intelligence will start to take off by RL through world models. Full self-driving Sol, Waymo and Tesla everywhere. The stock market will have 20% plus drawdown. Whoa. OpenAI going bankrupt and getting acquired by Microsoft due to collapse of Oracle. Market crash caused by rapidly deteriorating economic situation. Push against AI will become a common theme in most advanced Western economies as unemployment rises. Populist right-wing parties continue to gain traction in Europe. Help us build real AGI, narrow ASI before AGI. Is the quickest path to it. Anthropic's coding focus isn't a step back from AGI. It's the quickest path to it. Monopoly on benchmarking, the bestest, goodest leaderboard on the planet. Leanbench. Lead them to paradise. A lot of interesting ideas. Okay. Embodied and multimodal AI search. Robotics integration accelerates. Think Optimus like robots. Outperforming humans in basic assembly. Rapid model iteration. Medical task within labs. Video generation. Minute-long consistency. Blurring humans. AI content media. Infrastructure shifts. Productivity boom, job disruptions. GDP wow. Cloned AI products democratize innovation but erode moats for slow incumbents. Market volatility. AI stocks face 10 to 20% drawdown. Recoveries follow as real value emerges. Nvidia's dominance is sparking geopolitical tensions over hardware exports. Widespread adoption and backlash. AI divorces. People prefer bots for consistency. Whoa. AI tutors. Grok-like systems make college optional for skills, focusing institutions on socialization. Anti-AI sentiment grows, with human being becoming a premium label amid slob fatigue. This is crazy. It's like somebody was talking that. Wow. People are driven to build highly personal AIs when they are single. When they have a good relationship, that thought wouldn't come across their mind. They were like, why would I build something like that? Wow. Anti-AI sentiment grows. Human made becoming a premium label amid slob fatigue, ethical misalignment risk. Smarter models expose misalignment issues. Challenger disasters. Global equity and innovation. Accessibility empowers underserved regions. AI for remote medical access. Farming optimization. Competitive pressures. Keep controls minimal. Power demands strain grids, potentially delaying deployments in energy scarce areas. Continual learning breakthrough could flip compute to 100% inference, crashing overhyped stocks like Nvidia temporarily. Rohan Paul AI. What? Okay. Google will acquire Thinking Machine Labs. OpenAI ships an AI research intern by September 26. Major lab introduces $1,000 per month agent. Gemini closes the gap with ChatGPT on weekly users. AI compute 100% inference and basically 0% training. This is so interesting, using Grok as the key layer. When you use Grok as the key layer, now it's obviously, first of all, it's summarizing all these opinions that are taken from different people, but then you can also specifically read the other people's ideas. So it's very interesting. It's very interesting. It's kind of giving you a summary, and then you can dive deeper into specific people's opinions. So I think this is how things are going to look like. This is exactly how things are going to look like. AI is the means, not the end. People are the end, not the means. AI is the means, not the end. People are the end, not the means. Rephrase and give me 5 variations. Okay, but does this grammatically make sense? Rhetorical punch. Micro polish. AI is the means, not the end. People are the end, not the means. AI is a means, not an end. People are the end, not the means. More formal symmetry. AI is the means, not the end. I don't know, it doesn't, we can't think too much about it, we'll make it complicated. Okay. Breakthrough in continual learning and media stock will get another boost. Pix ensures about training and inference. If anything, continual learning can increase inference side complexity because you are not just serving forward passes, you are also managing memory state and sometimes update steps. Fascinating, especially regarding accessibility. +1. Each of it is smaller than frontier terrain, you might run them far more often. Okay, regulate, which one did we look at? Global equity. Misalignment risk. regulatory slowdowns. Unforeseen events, high chance of an acquisition. IPO, reshaping the landscape. No full AGI, but research into agents fall short of hype, while still automating junior roles. Wow, everybody has 2026 predictions. Let's see, strawberry guy. I rule the world, Mo. Anthropic will go public. OpenAI will not. Details of SSI's research and technology will leak to the public. What are the latest updates from SSI? Details of SSI's research and technology will leak to the public. The big labs will make meaningful adjustments to their research roadmaps as a result. China's domestic AI chip sector will make significant strides, planting the seeds for the eventual decline of NVIDIA's global dominance. Discourse about AGI and superintelligence will become less fashionable and less common. A mundane and esoteric accounting concept, depreciation schedule, will become critically important, especially as debt plays a growing role in the infrastructure build-out. Depreciation schedules. Many more AI companies will begin building custom chips. Step aside. Wow, AI will be one of the central issues in 2026 US midterm elections. Large global pharma companies will acquire one of the leading protein AI startups. Transition from a fringe frontier field to a mainstream technology and startup category. BCI. BCI. Okay. What are some interesting apps you can build around brain-computer interface? Will transition from a fringe frontier field to a mainstream technology and startup category. Neuralink's position as the clear category leader will become shakier. Gemini will achieve AGI. Bearing the lead. Whoa. Wow. Ilias CEO. Elite talent acquisition. Straight shot of advancing capabilities while keeping safety ahead. Product rat race. No rush to release models or generate revenue. The plan is to focus 100% on long-term research. I prefer this response. Okay. Anyways, we'll go to approve. The year of liquidity, 1 trillion plus in new public market cap. Altimeter, okay. Stanford, Palantir. New public market cap from AI tech IPOs and direct listings to private to public logjam breaks. Potential candidates SpaceX, Anthropic, OpenAI, Databricks. Google gains ground. Don't forget Google. Gemini may or may not be the best model, it doesn't matter. Smart deals, Apple, Reliance, distribution. Gmail map search, 2 billion users don't pick models, they use defaults. The great AI sorting. Users actively compare ChatGPT for X, Claude for Y, Gemini for Z. Memory compounds, switching costs rise. The AI landscape. Actually, let me ask Chrome. Whoa. Why does it keep asking me? Supreme. It's just Prashant. Yeah, why do you keep asking me? Yes. That's it. Bonjour, Prashant. Thank you. Bonjour to you as well. Rechercher des onglets. Mode AI. Give me the mode AI. Yeah, why do I have to ask mode AI? It should always be mode AI. Critics for managing a stage fright during a presentation. I don't see the Gemini sidebar on my Google Chrome. Help me. The feature may be displayed in Chrome preferences. Open Chrome, go to under AI innovations. Settings AI. M'aider à écrire. OK. Remonter Chrome boosté par l'IA demande d'apprendre quand sa fonctionnalité utilise l'IA sont en phase initiale de développement et ne sont pas infaillibles. Lorsque vous utilisez ces fonctionnalités, de données pertinentes sont envoyées à Google afin de créer des expériences d'IA. Les données envoyées à Google peuvent être consultées par des réviseurs humains afin d'améliorer la technologie d'IA de Chrome. M'aider à écrire. Vous aide à rédiger des courts textes pour le web comme des avis. I don't see it. Cette page Chrome est sécurisée. Why don't I see it? Nouvel onglet, nouvelle fenêtre de navigation privée. Mot de passe, saisie automatique. Wow, it's crazy. It's crazy how complicated this is. Like how much stuff there is over here. Définir Chrome comme navigateur par défaut. Téléchargement, favoris, liste, extension, recherche avec Google Lens, recherche modifiée, plus d'outils, mode lecture performant, gestionner tâches. Nouvelle fenêtre, paramètres. Wow. Démonstration. Effectuer un clic droit sur cet onglet et sélectionner une nouvelle vue fractionnée avec l'onglet actuel. OK. Cliquez ici pour séparer ou organiser la vue fractionnée. D'accord. Félicitations, vous pouvez désormais utiliser la vue affectionnée pour comparer et effectuer plusieurs tâches à la fois. Merci. Merci. This is helpful. Séparer. Ok, parfait. Boom. Et now, séparer. Ok. Under enumeration, select Gemini and Chrome. Toggle on the settings show Gemini at the top. Browser relaunch Chrome to apply the changes. Specific requirements. Language. Yeah, I'm not sure if I'm on the latest Chrome. Huh. Innovations by AI is not there. Is the side panel Gemini in Chrome browser available in Canada? One thing we can do is we can use Claude. Should I share my screen? Okay. Let's actually do a quick share of my Google Chrome. Boom. Now you can see my Google Chrome. So ugly. Alright. I think one thing I like about Google Chrome is that on ChatGPT, the site name is in the middle, so it's harder to drag around. You gotta be careful about that. Yeah, but that's just a tiny thing. Alright. Can you put these masques Google Chrome, masques les autres, confirmer avec quitter, supprimer les données, fichier, présentation, toujours afficher la barre favori, en plein écran, toujours afficher les URL en entier. Okay, I don't want that. Actually, yeah, why would someone want that? That's actually so smart of ChatGPT to figure out that, hey, people don't care about this. Like, why am I seeing this? Yeah. Toujours affiché. Okay. Le raccourci Google Lens. Pourquoi? Afficher le raccourci en recherche. Actualiser cette page. Zoom avant. Pour les développeurs. Favoris. Profil. Onglet. Regrouper. Sélectionner. Yeah. I think what ChatGPT has been able to do is go for extreme simplicity. Like, why am I looking at google.com/search source ID, all these numbers? You need a clean experience. It's not officially available in Canada as of January 26. Okay, so one thing we can do is we can download Claude, gérer les extensions, and we deleted Claude. We can bring back Claude. Claude Chrome extension. It's in beta. Claude Code Docs. Claude with Chrome. I'm not sure if this is the one. Claude and Chrome, yes. Claude works in your browser. I basically found out how to use Claude, how to open extensions in Atlas. It would be really cool if you could actually use both Claude and ChatGPT in Atlas. That would be really cool. The browser extension is beta feature with unique registry alert. Protect yourself from bad actors. Merci. So there's Reactor, there's Megaku, and now we will pin Claude. Okay, parfait. Je suis ici. C'est parti. What is this? Unpin. A pinkley. This is a beta feature. Okay, parfait. This is Claude. Okay. So this is how it works. Okay, we are testing a new feature, so this is exciting. All right. This is a beta feature. Unique risk distinct from other cloud products. You're fully responsible for all risk associated with use of this product. Take screenshots when responding. For privacy, avoid using Claude on sensitive sites like health and dating platforms. Whoa, health and dating platforms. What about banking? Claude can take screenshots when responding. For privacy, avoid using Claude on sensitive sites like health and dating platforms. Malicious actors can hide instructions on websites, emails, documents that trick AI into taking harmful actions. I understand. Automate your repetitive tasks. Alright, let's see. And what is this? Oh. Boom. Okay. Seems like they worked pretty well with Google Chrome. Okay. They're working really well with this entire interface of Google Chrome. Automated repetitive task. QA testing, researching CSV, data entry across multiple sites, focus. Next. Claude has tab group access. If Claude is open in a tab group, it can access the URL, context, and information of all the tabs in that group. Use shortcuts to save time. Send instructions to Claude. Great for tasks you repeat often. Type to find or create shortcuts. Haiku. Claude aligns on its approach before taking actions. Teach Claude. Whoa, teach Claude your workflow. Enable your microphone to narrate as you demonstrate the workflow. Claude will learn the process and repeat it for you. Oh my god, Claude has better technology. And ChatGPT is a bit behind. Okay, this is crazy. Like, Claude needs a browser. You cannot rely on Google Chrome. You need your own browser. But that's very interesting. Like, Claude is really focused on their models. So who's going to win over here? OpenAI is really going after vertical integration. They're investing in product experiences as well, because they believe that if we control the product, we can deeply show our work. On the other hand, Claude is just focusing on the models itself. Claude is really focused on the features and the product itself, not going into tertiary things of vertical integration, or let's say, what's the right word? Not going into the auxiliary items, not going to auxiliary spaces. They are only focused on what they do best, and then they work with other interfaces to provide you. So over here, they know that Google Chrome already exists. It's a browser that already exists. We don't have to create our own browser. We are really good at these models and agents. We'll just make that and work with Google. OpenAI believes that by controlling the environment, we will be able to better serve the users. We'll be able to create a better, clean experience. And that's why they are really focused over there. This is crazy. Okay. Beta feature unique registry, alert, and protect yourself from bad actors. Okay. This is really cool. It's really cool. It has things take a screenshot, add an image. Claude also has this thing. Speak to Claude. Hello Claude, how are you? I don't know how it works. The Mac app just doesn't work for me. Okay. Is Claude working on building a browser? Current through Jan 2025, Anthropic, the company that created me, has not announced any plans to build a browser. Get notifications when tasks complete or need input. Yes, please. Can you look into latest information about Claude's web integration capabilities? Whoa. Creating a plan. Claude.com. Read the current Claude in Chrome page to see what information is available. Navigate to Anthropic's website to look for any announcement or documentation. Compile the latest information. Approve this plan. Notify me. Claude a démarré le débogage de ce navigateur. Accept all cookies. Oh my god, where are you going? It's going everywhere. What does it say? Claude browser development home Anthropic. So it's searching. Okay, go. Introducing Claude Sonnet 4.5 haiku coding capabilities from months ago. Benchmark records, coding, reasoning. Thoughts on America's AI action plan 13B series F. Okay. Very similar to Perplexity comment. Okay. Introducing labs, healthcare, life sciences. January 13th. They announced something yesterday. Okay. $1 billion product. Speed of advancements in AI demands different approach how we build. Hiring builders with a track record of creating products people love and shaping an emerging technology with care. Today we are building on this approach with the expansion of labs, a team focused on incubating experimental products at the frontier of Claude's capabilities. Mike Krieger, co-founder of Instagram, has spent the past 2 years at Anthropic's chief product officer, joining labs to build alongside Ben Mann. Ami Vora, who joined Anthropic at the end of 2025, will lead the product organization, partnering closely with Rahul Patil, our CTO, to scale the Claude experiences that millions of users rely on every day. How we build, how we organize, where we focus. Labs give us room to break the mold and explore. We now have the right structure in place to support the most critical motions for our product organization, discovering experimental products at the frontier of Claude's capabilities and scaling the responsibility to meet the needs of enterprise customers and growing user base. MCP, 100 million monthly downloads, has become the industry standard for connecting AI tools and data. Skills, Claude and Chrome, Cowork, which launched as a research preview yesterday to bring Claude's agentic capabilities to desktop. So I'm really happy that we got to try this. Google Chrome is ugly, but this Claude extension is beautiful. So now you're confused, but we gotta use it. Okay, we gotta keep testing it. How can I get access to Claude Cowork? Instead, Anthropic is focusing on integrating Claude into existing browsers. Search for information on Cowork on Anthropic's website. Look for how to get access, whether it's available through labs, require sign up. Approved plan. I like how it gives a quick plan. Okay. Claude wants to read page content. Allow this action. Wait, Claude is going on Claude and searching? Always allow actions on this site. Browse, click and type. Available navigation options. What? Claude is going on Claude to use Claude? Web search, add file connectors and more. Loading Cowork features in the interface. Take screenshot. What is happening? What is happening? Something interesting is happening. Let's see. Artifacts. Where are you going? Taking screenshot. Chats. Do you know what you're doing? Claude is AI and can make mistakes. Please double check responses. Exploring interface navigation options. Take screenshot. Okay. It's looking into Claude for me to find if there's Cowork hidden somewhere. That seems like it. Okay. I thought Claude was using Claude to search, but no, it's going to Claude to look at all the interfaces to see where is it hidden somewhere. Take screenshot. Okay. Find Cowork. Why is it taking screenshots? Claude wants to navigate to Google. Allow this action. Okay. Not now. Allow. Okay, go now. Learning Cowork features and setup. I think it's going to open this website. Look for mode selector. Includes chat and Cowork lab. Allow this action. Click. Okay. Take screenshot. Too many screenshots. Oh. Cowork is available research preview for Max plan subscribers using the Claude desktop app on macOS. Users on other plans can join the waitlist for future access. Okay, got it. So basically, I need to get the Max subscription. So we'll join the waitlist. Yes, 18. Research during live stream experimenting with new ideas, creating scripts. Claude is active in this tab group. Okay, open chat. Whoa. Yeah, this is the problem, right? All informs quickly. So this is the problem. Because you don't control, experience is not the most beautiful. Can we contact you to learn more about? Yes. Submit. So this is the problem. Interesting. We'll find how to use this later on, but okay. Now it's time to get back to our beloved Atlas. So much cleaner. The great AI sorting. AI learns to speak first, not a chatbot waiting in a box, ambient contextual. Notices, not just checks in. The relationship in words. Open source keeps climbing. Agents learn to mix and match. Frontier for the heavy lifting. Fine-tune OSs for everything else. Hybrid stack becomes default. Cache register rings at the model serving platforms. Meta question, nothing major since Llama 4 in Q1. The meta question. Nothing major since Llama 4. Key departures, no long-term research bets. Bar rises. Lab spending $525 billion on training this year needs to show $525 billion in gross margin. They get ready for public markets. Consumer experiences growing pains. Elections including US midterms. AI tries to stay neutral. Swing election narrative takes hold anyway. Consumer AI easy money zone is over. 1 billion already using AI, up 3x from last year. Tripling from here means becoming the #1 consumer app globally. Adoption explodes. 94% of businesses say they want it, less than 30% have implemented. Service providers that can't prove ROI die. Management anymore. Mid-market becomes the biggest AI buyer. Knowledge work gets gutted. Research, reporting, analysis, first drafts. Anything that starts with compile or summarize gets automated. Craving human content made by a human becomes a selling point. In-person events come back. Every platform becomes an agent platform. Users stop wanting dashboards. They want software that does things for them on autopilot. AI UGC takes over paid media. Synthetic faces, voices, and scripts at scale. Zero cost economy kills slow movers. Any AI product gets cloned in weeks. Features are on a moat. Creativity, storytelling, and distribution become the only defensible advantages. Solo operators outperform small teams. AI eliminates the need for staffed teams. In-person events are back. Oh, this is the information 3 predictions. Okay. No. Okay. Launches automated AI research intern. Major. They roll $1,000. I think this is a problem. They are setting up the expectations of the big guys. So they're actually now going to launch $1,000. If somebody just leaks this information, this is a way for testing the market. If somebody leaks this information out there, and if a lot of people say that, oh yeah, I would be down to pay for it, then that's a good way for these companies to test out the market. That okay, people are actually saying yes, they will pay $1,000. Then why not charge them? Key takeaways on 20% document. Okay. Forecast by Romeo Dean. Reliable insight, narrow workflows, coding assistance, data analysis, web actions, internal tools. Humans still own planning, judgment, final decisions, compute scaling, model efficiency improve at steady rates. Early economic pressure appears in software and research roles. This phase centers on usefulness. Humans stay firmly in the loop. Agent autonomy expands across multi-step tasks. AI completes end-to-end coding on medium complexity projects. Research assistance improves in math, biology, ML. Training cycles shorten as parts of R&D are automated. Governments begin monitoring, controls stay light. Competitive pressure rises between major labs and states. AI systems automate most AI research work. Model design, train, evaluate better models. Recursive self-improvement begins through faster iteration. Capability gains compound over weeks, not years. Human researchers shift to supervision and goal setting. Alignment and control gaps surface under real pressure. White-collar economic disruption accelerates. Geopolitical stakes peak. You don't want even access to advanced. Rapid deployment races or enforced slowdowns. Tooling, autonomy, feedback loops, and loss of the human lead. Branch point slowdown or race. USG captured by AGI. Adversarial misalignment detected. Leopold. This is not the Leopold we want, but he is a Leopold. AI shopping. AI love companionship boom. Advanced memory, personalization, emotional capabilities. Widespread bonding. Widespread bonding. Feel like top friends and normalizing conversations about AI relationships. Backlash against always on AI recording. No breakout AI hardware device. Despite high variables and new form factors won't go mainstream, smartphones remain dominant. It's going to decimate junior labor. Okay. Did we ask any other query? Yes, we did. What are the latest updates from SSI? I like Grok's interface too. Grok's interface is cool. Claude is cool. Gemini is... yeah, Gemini is Gemini. It's like, it will do some things good, but it's not the interface you want to use. Boost my day. Okay, boost my day. Healthy meal that feels like a treat. Round up some wholesome news from today. Wholesome news. Study ways to instantly de-stress. Oh. So Claude is having some weird issues right now. Give me some ideas from brain-computer interface apps that we can build together. Actually, when I said together, I mean like you are gonna build it. Taking longer than usual. Trying again shortly. Attempt 2 of 10. Something weird is happening. This is Richard Feynman. Highly pixelated Richard Feynman. Attempt 4 of 10. Something weird is happening. What are you doing, Anthropic? The wet dog shake. Just climb out of a lake. Start with your hands, then your arms, then your whole torso and legs. It physically releases muscle tension and breaks the freeze response that often accompanies high stress. Bubble breathing. Bubble breathing. If you don't pretend you are holding a wand and blow the biggest, slowest imaginary bubble possible. Burst lip breathing. Surfer dude. Inner surfer. When problem arises, say out loud in your best surfer accent. No problem, dude. It's all good, man. No problem, dude. It's all good, man. It's a goofy persona creates Psychological distance from your stress. It makes a person feel like it belongs to someone else. Someone much more relaxed. Laughter yoga. Solo version. MayoClinic.org. You get a fake laugh can trigger feel-good chemicals. Force a ho ho ha ha sound while clapping your hands. Usually the sheer awkwardness of doing this alone will make you actually laugh. Sensory weirdness. The ice cube trick. Oh, bubble wrap. Rhythmic, satisfying microbend for your brain. Everything. Export to sheets. Yeah, this is the weird part of Google. It's gonna try to, like, why am I gonna export this to sheets? Creating a spreadsheet. Would you like me to find? Oh my god, what am I gonna do with a Google sheet? Silly ways to instantly de-stress. Best for physical jitters, high energy, mental spirals, overthinking, intense anxiety, panic, shortness of breath. Time needed 20 seconds. This is so stupid that Google does. Okay. But I think Claude isn't working right now. Nav.al. Curate people. In the arena. Iteration and agency. Find the simplest thing that works. These are all the podcasts. Okay. Merci.